Got calendars? Today we're turning a calendar, its pages, into a fabulous glue book. Hey, it's Care. Welcome to Mutic at the Lake. So I cannot take credit for this idea either. I have to thank Jean Bainey right off the bat for this. She was doing a flip through, I think, or maybe it was a haul video. I can't remember. It's been some time. But she had a big, beautiful calendar, which most of us have, these 12 by 12 or sometimes even bigger wall calendars. And they have these fantastic pictures in it, but this won't go in an altered book, and it doesn't really do well in a composition book. She said, I really hate to cut up these beautiful pictures. There's so many beautiful pictures in this calendar. And she thought, I wonder what would happen. She's thinking out loud, and I'm listening real close. She said, I wonder what would happen if I just folded them in half and then used this side for junk journaling or glue booking and bind them all together somehow. And that idea stuck with me. And I'm here to show you some that I have created. Now, some work better than others. This is a $1. The calendar cost retail suggested price of $1, but I got it 70% off or 75% off, so I paid it like a quarter for it. And it's just like paper. So I glued one of the pages to a piece of scrapbook paper before I made it its cover. Let me show you my favorite one so far, and we'll go back and talk about the others. So this one is not a $1 calendar. This one is one of those, maybe $18 calendars. Super high quality paper, super thick cover. This one works way better, but whatever you have, this is all about using up the calendars you already have. This was brand new. I got it. It was still in its wrapping paper the other day, but it's from 2006. Don't ask. So whatever kind of calendar you have, I've tried it with all of them, from the really high-end ones to the really low-end dollar ones, and they all seem to work fine, some better than others, but we're talking junk journals here and glue books. Primarily glue books. I'm not sure how much this kind of spine can take. Filling it to the brim, I don't know. But look how nice this turned out. It has a nice spine. The cover worked out beautifully in that I just folded it in half, and that's on the front and that's on the back. It's almost perfect. It couldn't ask for better. And when you open it, the glue is, it's the first time I've opened it since I've glued it, so it's cracking a little bit, but I have no problem with that. I left some space here in the spine to give it some room to grow, so we'll see. So you open it up, and it's a beautiful lighthouse picture. Now, of course, me and New Theme Thursdays and Matchy Matchy, I see this as a lighthouse themed glue book or a lighthouse themed junk journal. Maybe you just like lighthouses and you want to fill it with whatever you want to fill it with. So you have this beautiful opening page of a lighthouse. You can put stuff down the margins if you want. You don't have to. But then the next page is the old calendar and miscellaneous. These are the back pages. And the next page is lighthouse. And the next page is a place to fill with lighthouses and quotes about lighthouses and whatever. Lighthouse glue book stuff. Beautiful picture. You get the point. Nice centerfold. And it lays nice and flat to work on. I am thrilled with how this came out. Thank you, Jean, for the seed of an idea. I ran with it, and I am thrilled with how it came out, as I said. This, in the calendars, they come with the page on the back, that shows. So the cover is the front cover of the calendar, and the back always, I shouldn't say always, but usually shows you thumbnails of what each page looks like. And so you've got a running start on your lighthouse themed glue book, because it gives you these strips. Now these can be bookmarks or journaling cards or whatever you want to use them for. They come ready to go. So that's the best one. It was the highest quality calendar, and I had done several, and I was kind of getting a pattern down, and I'll show you that here in just a few minutes, how I did it and some suggestions that I have. So back to the horses again. This is from the Dollar General store, and it was a whopping $1 to begin with. I paid a quarter or so for it. The paper, even with glue stick, is so cheap that it wrinkled any little bit of water. But it's still a great glue book for horse lovers. I took one of the pages that worked well, folded it in half the opposite way, because the pages inside the book are folded this way so that you get that. So glue book, cool picture, glue book. This is folded the opposite way to make the cover. And again, it lays nice and flat. Now this is separating, and I'm okay with that. I would just put washi tape or coordinating material or a piece of paper that hinges these two together to A, cover up that broken spine, and B, just secure these things together. And if you needed to do it on each page, you could. But what a fun glue book this would be for horse lovers, having those gorgeous pages. And we bought these calendars because we love the pictures, or we love the theme, or the subject, or whatever, or the quotes, or whatever it is. Why not use them? I am just tickled with this project. This one didn't work out quite so well because of how the page was taken. I had to trim them in order to have it fit inside the cover. And so he lost his head and he lost his nose. But just cover it with glue book stuff. You know, it's just one more page to cover. Not a big deal. So I hope that you'll take this on. I hope you kept all your old calendars. I know I did. I must have 10 or 15 Boston and Frenchies and dogs calendars laying around, so I'm making these like crazy. Here's another one that I did with again, a nice lighthouse calendar. This was pretty hardy stock too. It was another brand new in the box, in the packaging calendar. Its cover didn't work out as well as the others, and I kind of had to jimmy it. This one I cut out pieces of it to make it matter. I wrapped that around the spine, and then I took part of the back cover and glued that on as a back cover, where this one is all one cover. It's all one piece. This one is 1, 2, 3 pieces. I kind of jimmied up with this too, covered up the date and covered up, I think it says Michigan lighthouses, and then the year. I covered that up. But it works just the same. I cut up all the back pieces, so you've got all these little wonderful lighthouses to get you started. Twinchies or 2.5 inchies. Some extras, and then they usually give you a sample of what the whole thing looks like, and I love things in miniature. So there's that. And this one works exactly the same. Glue book or junk journal stuff. Beautiful picture. Glue book. Beautiful picture. I love them. I just love them. But that's the back of it. This is one of the back pages. That's why it's sideways. This page is fine, so this would be part of the glue book anyway. So I'll just quick show you. This is not rocket science. It's super, super easy. But like I said, I did learn a few things, so I want to save you the pitfalls. The whole cover, and use my scoreboard. If you don't have a scoreboard, you can use an embossing tool like this, and a piece of semi-soft foam underneath. Or if you have a trimmer like this, you can put your paper in here and score it that way, using this as a score line, or just a ruler. It does help to score it, especially if it's a decent quality calendar. This is sort of mid-range. It's not super thick like the Lighthouse one, but it's not paper like the Dollar General one either. So I just guesstimated a little bit on either side of that hole. You see the hole there, and then my lines on either side. This was already folded in half and stuffed in a bag before I decided to do this. So that gives me, once those are folded in, maybe this is a better side to see, that gives me a little bit of a spine. Now I have all these extra pages. And I don't know if these are the Frenchies or not. No, these are just dogs. Like I said, I've got all kinds. Here's some Frenchies from this calendar. I have all kinds of pages. So I could just do, like I did with the lighthouses, just do the Frenchie calendar in the Frenchie book. Or since they're approximately, they're not exact, the same size, I could put some of these in as well, some miscellaneous dogs, if I wanted to. So you take the pages from your calendar and fold them so that the pictures are inside, and try to get your edges as even as possible. Now the first few I went and I trimmed the messy edge off because this is just torn apart from, you know, calendars they're extra long pieces of paper, and I tore them in half to get individual pages. Sometimes I trim those off. I'm going to trim it all at the end, I think, instead of doing them in between. So you want your pictures to be folded upright and folded in half so that they're inside over and over again for all 12 of the. This is a different one, even though it's Frenchies. I guess I'll put it in here since it's a Frenchie calendar. It's a little bird walk. The other day I was on a channel called Frenchie Mama. Frenchie Mama. And the picture of the channel's banner has a girl holding what's clearly a Boston Terrier. I'm not real impressed with their Frenchie knowledge if they don't know the difference between the two dogs. I don't expect everybody to know. But look at those little tree stump legs. These are Frenchies, there's no doubt. Rounded ears, these are Frenchies. If she's a Frenchie Mama, and she does have, the video I watched was a Frenchie pup, but I think it's one of those video farm channels, you know, where they scam Frenchie pictures from all over the internet and call them their own and start a Frenchie Mama channel. And yeah, I called him on it. Of course I called him on it, because that's what I do. Krabby Crafter. Although I was talking with Leanne the other day, and for some reason I'm mellowing. I'm not calling everybody on everything anymore. It just takes too much energy. So once you get all 12 of them folded, I get them nice and straight, get all the spines together and as close to straight on your ends as possible. And then I clip them together. And I take Fabri-Tac because that's the strongest glue that I have other than E6000. I don't want to use E6000. This is the next best thing. And I put it on that spine and I work it in with my fingers. And then I go all the way down the spine. But as I go, I add clips. So if I glue this, I put a clip there. And then glue here and put a clip here. And so I end up with something that looks like this at the end. So it's clamping all of those pages together with that glue. Just on the spine. But putting so many clamps on, because you can see that where it's clamped, see how tight that is up in there versus how loose it is here versus clamping it up top. So you want to clamp it as tight as you can, and the more clamps the better. So you end up with something like this. I do that twice. I put the Fabri-Tac glue on the spine and I work it in with my fingers and I clip it. And when it's all dry, I take all the clips off and I start the process. I just do it one more time. It probably don't need to, but I think every little bit helps. And then reclamp it and let it dry again. So when that's all dry, I let it dry overnight or a couple of days because I want that to be really solid. You can, at this point, take a piece of fabric, which I did on this lighthouse one. I took a small piece of fabric, or fabric tape works just as well. This kind of fabric medical tape, you can get this at the $1.25 tree for $1.25, and it's material and it's super, super strong. So at this point, I always put a little something on my tape end so that I can always lift it. It's always ready to go. I don't have to pick at it, because that takes time I don't have. Just put it on there and fold it in half. Doesn't have to be perfect. You're not going to see it. That just reinforces that spine just a teensy bit more. If you don't have medical tape, use a piece of paper. If you don't have a piece of paper, use a piece of material. Or glued washi tape. Anything that will bridge that spine together. This is so cool. I love this one. This one is old cars. This is a paper one from the Dollar General store. Look at that. Oh, while we're doing this and I'm showing you up close, nice and slow. The other day I was watching a video and she kept bringing stuff up to the camera, which is awesome. She's bringing it up. She's like, look, check this out. These are so cool. Watch, look at. Oh my God, slow that shit down so we can focus on it. Oh my God. Even if you're looking at it in person, you couldn't see it that fast, but our eyes do not focus as fast through watching it on TV or our phones or our computers or our iPads as they do in real time. So bring it up and go nice and slow. It feels weird. It feels like, oh my God, crickets. Your viewers will appreciate. Look how cool they are. Takes a couple seconds for people to focus. Slow that shit down. Back to our yummy purple car. So this is a car one from the $1.25 store. I did the very same thing. You can kind of see the hole there. On either side of the hole, I gave myself a score so that I have just a little bit of a spine right here. That this little bugger will fit in. It's a little big, perhaps. Maybe not. I don't know. Like that. Now this is still a little too big. So what I'm going to do, now that I've got it in my cover, although it's, I don't know, I guess I'll wait for this one until after. I've already trimmed it to fit here, but it seems to have a little bit of overhang, but I think that's just how I have it folded. So the next step is, because I have fabric tape here and fabric tape, because the spine, this is literally just paper, and I don't want to take the time to glue another piece of paper down or glue a piece of cardstock on. I'm just gonna go with it. It's a $1 calendar, you know, I'm not gonna spend $80 to reinforce it. I'm just gonna put some Fabri-Tac down in that spine area because it's fabric tape to fabric tape, and again, Fabri-Tac's about the strongest glue of my arsenal. Put a nice dollop right in that spine. And here you got to make sure, because some things are going to be upside down, make sure they're upside right. So my cover is upside right. My car's wheels are on the road. And I just to make sure, even though this is upside down, that should tell me my car's wheels are on the road. You know, some days in the craft room, you're just not sure. So I'm going to put that in the spine. On Fabri-Tac, you have a few seconds of wiggle room time. I'm going to make sure that that's in there good. Center it best you can. Because I don't trust my Scotch Create glue anymore, I'm going to do dry tape runs and glue. Make sure to get those edges really, really, really good. And in between the glue, the dry glue, the tape glue, whatever. Close that cover. I got a whopping overhang down there at the bottom on some of those pages, so I will have to trim because I like it to be neat and neat. Neat, neat, neat. Move that glue around. Give it some love. I just love this. This is the back of contact paper for gluing. I just love it. I like it even better than deli paper. So there, back cover's done. I would do the same to the front cover. I'm not right now because I want that to dry a little bit before I start jacking around with it. Tape runner, glue, and then close it. Give it some love, and then you would have your cover on. And a glue book for fun old cars. Oh, isn't that just juicy? I love it. They're all pretty cool. Glue book. Beautiful picture. Something to do with those old calendars. I'm jazzed about this idea, and I cannot wait to dive in and make my dog ones. You notice that I practiced on all the others, horses, cars, and lighthouses, before I started doing the dogs, because the dogs are the most important, don't you know? I hope this inspires you. I hope it sparks some cool ideas, and that you think this is a fun idea that you're going to try. Let me know in the comments below. Do you keep your old calendars? Have you found a different use for them? Are you going to make one of these? I'd love to know. In the meantime, please, please go love up your beastlies and have a lovely, lovely crafty day.